I was just thinking, what would it be like to take all the time I've spent doing these videos, and will continue to spend doing these videos, and just ball them all together? I mean, how much time would that be? I think the answer would simultaneously impress and depress me. On the one hand, I've spent a lot of time doing these videos, which shows dedication. On the other hand, I've spent a lot of time doing these videos, which shows lack of life. To compensate, however, I like to look at it this way. True, I waste large chunks of my life at a time, but I also waste small chunks of a bunch of other people's lives at a time. It's bound to come out even in the end. And there we have yet another tagline for It's the Program. I waste my life so I can waste yours. Good afternoon, butt kickers. It's July 28th, the 209th day of 2011. Which means that 15 years ago today, the remains of a prehistoric man were discovered near Kennewick, Washington. The infinitely creative scientists named him the Kennewick Man. I don't know. I think I would have named him like Zaxolar, Destroyer of Worlds or something. I mean, if I were the remains of a prehistoric man, even if I didn't destroy worlds, I think I'd prefer that over the Kennewick Man. Anyway, here's what scientists reckon Kenny looked like, although I'm not so sure. Personally, I'd like to ask the sculptor how he surmised this out of a pile of bones, and I'd also like to ask him if he's a Star Trek The Next Generation fan, because Kenny is a dead ringer for Captain Picard. Anyway, after they dug Kenny up, they immediately started doing tests on him, like checking for reflexes, vital signs, pupil dilation, etc., until they arrived at the conclusion that Kenny was dead. According to Wikipedia, expert physicians and morticians from around the world flew into Kennewick and conferred for hours until they finally discovered that Kenny had been dead for quite some time. As a matter of fact, he was a skeleton. So more tests began, like finding out just exactly how old Kenny was, which they presumably figured out by cutting his femur in half and then counting the rings. We, the Scientific Board of Scientific Science, have thoroughly investigated the bones of Zaxolar, Destroyer of Worlds, and we have deduced his age as really freaking old. Also, we think he looks like Professor Xavier. Anyway, today is also World Hepatitis Day, a day observing the 500 million people worldwide suffering from hepatitis today. Although Wikipedia makes a point to clarify that today is only actually meant to commemorate those with hepatitis B and C. So if you have hepatitis A, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, or AA, I guess you're out of luck. The slogans for these awareness days always get to me. For example, this year's slogan is, "This is hepatitis." No, in fact, this is a day where people with hepatitis are given a collective conciliatory shoulder pat. 2 years ago, the slogan "Am I number 12" gained notoriety for classic scare tactic publicity because hepatitis affects 1 in every 12 people. But the worst was the 2004 slogan, "You have company." I have company, and that company's the virus, is it? What kind of B-movie antagonist catchphrase is that for a slogan? In all seriousness, though, if you or someone you know has hepatitis, I apologize for treating the subject so flippantly, but I guess that's just what I do. Gimme that outro!
And until tomorrow, he's Griff, and he's still talking.